Make a note on this, you don't have a single character as a data type here. It's a character cannot be considered as data type. List index always start with 0. As array index starts with 0, always list index will also start with 0. It is allowed to have a nested tuple also. We can have a nested tuple by having the list within the tuple as one of the value or one of the element. Hello everyone, welcome to the second session on the topic Python for 4th semester B.Ca student. Myself Indu J, Faculty of Computer Science Department, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So let's continue the discussion on the Python programming language. In the last session, we have discussed what all the basic things we need to understand the programming language called Python and who developed the Python, history, version, that all we have discussed in the last class. Today in this session, we are going to discuss what all the data types we have in Python. Okay, so different data types what we can use in the Python. Let's have a look into this table. How many different types of data types we have in other language like integer, float, character, double, int, double, like that we have different types of data types. So what is data type basically? It's a type for which the value should be stored. What type of the value is stored in the variable is told by the data type. Okay, clear what is a data type? Which type of data we are storing or we are using, that represents the data type. The variable can store the data of the different types. The different types can do the different things. Okay, what integer, what are the operation we do on the integer, the same operation we cannot do on the strings. What the operation we do on the characters, same cannot be carried out with the integer, right? Different characters or the different data types will do the different task. That's why it is important to know how many data types are there in the Python programming language. The first data type what we have is a text type. Text is what? Nothing but your alphabetical characters, right? Text, how you form a text using your alphabets. That is called as the combination of string. So text data type is a string data type we have. Make a note on this, you don't have a single character as a data type here. It's a character cannot be considered as data type. If I want to read the character A, that should be of the type string of the length 1. Okay, if I want to read X, Y, Z, this is a string, right? Combination of the alphabets, combination of the characters is a string. So, this can be the string, and if I want to read the single character, that should be of the string with the length 1. Then next type what we have is numeric data type. Numeric means what comes? Numbers and then the digits. So that is integer, floating and then the complex values. That all comes under the numeric data type. And the sequence data type. Sequence means continuously we are storing, as we are having an array, list, stack. These are all the continuous storage allocation. That is a sequence of storage. Sequence of value is given to store. Here what we have is list, tuple and then the range as a sequential data type. Then mapping. Mapping means giving one value to one thing. That is called as mapping. Like if I say name. Name cannot be empty. Each and every individual has its name, right? Or the object has its name. So, name should have some value. That is mapping. Mapping the variable with the value. That is, we call it as dictionary. DICT stands for dictionary is a data type which represent the mapping. Then set. Set will be, we have set and the frozen set. Then boolean type. Boolean type means whether it gives the value as true or false. Then binary type, it will give the value in bits, byte arrays and then the memory view. These are all the different data types what we have in the Python. Let's see the example for each. Here you can say hello world. Hello world is what? A string. A string, that is a text data type. So that is a string data type what we are using. If say x is equal to 20, what 20 is? 20 is of the type integer data. 20.5 is of the type floating point data, and 1j, whenever it comes I or j with the digits, then it is called as complex values. Okay, complex data type. Then x is equal to apple, banana and cherry. We have a character sequence, string 1, string 2 and string 3, sequence of strings. So that is a sequential data type like list, tuple, range. And here we have a directory. What is directory? For the name you have giving one value, for the age you are giving one value. Mapping, that is called as mapping data type, and this is a set data type. Let's see each data type in detail. Let's have a Python list as a first data type. Need not to explain much about the strings and the numeric data type, integer, float and complex numbers. It is as good as that you are using in the different programming languages. Let's see with the sequential data type. This is a first sequential data type is list. List in the Python is used to show the sequence of various types of data. Here we are not only using a string data type as one list. You can have a list of strings, you can have a list of integer, or you can have a list of float, or the important point here, you can have a list of int and float and string. You can have a list of combined data type. You can have a list of combined data type. Elements of the list are enclosed within the square braces. How will be represented the list? Within the square braces and separated by comma. List index always start with 0. As array index starts with 0, always list index will also start with 0. Python list is mutable. What you mean by mutable? Mutable means you can change the value of the list dynamically. It's not the static allocation, it's a dynamic allocation. Values are changeable. It's an ordered list. What we can say, it is ordered and mutable. It can allow the multiple values. Okay, we can have a list of list also. We can nest the list within the list. Let's see the examples for this list. Example 1, what I am giving here, list of integer and string. What it will print? It will print 20, 30 and hello itself. We are combining the integer value with the character string value. It is allowed in the Python. And how we are representing the list? We are representing the list using the square braces. So print list 1 will print you 20, 30 and hello. Okay, coming to the example 2, here we have a list 2. In list 2 have one list combination. See, here you can see represented in the square braces like Varun and 1991. This is a combination of string and integer, right? This is called one list. This is one list and this is also one list, right? Here we have a combination of strings and then the integer which is enclosed within the square braces and separated by comma. So this we can have list 2 as a nested list of list I, list j and list q. Okay, so you can have a list within the list. What it will print? Print list 2, it will print all the values. So it is called as nested list. Next what we have is another data type, that is tuple. Tuple is also an ordered data. Okay, ordered data type. It will allow the multiple values. What you mean by allowing the multiple values? You can have the same numbers or the same string more than one time. That is called as allowing of multiple values, but it is immutable. The difference between list and tuple is that list is mutable, when it comes to the tuple, it is immutable. Immutable means once we have declared the values within the tuple, we are not supposed to change that. We are not allowed to change the values of the tuple. Since tuples are ordered sequence, each element has a specific order that will never change. That is immutable. To create the tuple, all the objects or the element must be enclosed within the simple braces. How we are enclosing? Using a simple braces, we are enclosing the elements separated by a comma. Right. So, this is an example creating the empty list. Just empty tuple. We are not giving any value inside the brace. So, it does not print anything. So, print empty tuple. That's what. It will be printed as empty tuple. That's all. There will be no data because we have not given any data. Next example for the tuple is what we are creating the tuple with having only the integer. Here tuple also allows the combination of multiple data type. Here we have done the integer. Here we have done the combination, right? So integer and then the string combination, it will allow. So how we are describing? We are describing with the simple braces separated by comma. So that is how we are going to give the values into the tuple data type. It is allowed to have a nested tuple also. We can have a nested tuple by having the list within the tuple as one of the value or one of the element. Here you can see Python is a string, this is a set and this is a tuple. This is a set data type, tuple data type. This is a string data type. So, combining all these things, we can have a nested tuple also. Also, you can add the list here. Okay, it will be allowed. Okay, that is examples for tuple. Next type of data type what we are going to discuss is a dictionary. What is dictionary? Always dictionary will represent it as a key value pair. You will be having one key. For that key, you will be having one value. Key value pair will be represented using a dictionary. How we are going to represent the dictionary? An effective data structure for storing the data in the Python dictionary. Storing a data dictionary is a very effective data type. Python dictionary is used as a key value pair format. That's why I have given one example, right? Name. It cannot be blank, it should be with some value x, y, z. Okay. So, this is mutable data structure. When we say it is mutable, it's not a properly mutable. We can say it have a property of both mutable and immutable. Why? Because whatever we are saying, this as a key should be always unique and it should not change its value. Key should be unique and this is immutable. Where we come with the value, you can change the value at any point in time. So, this is mutable, where key is immutable and value is mutable. The elements key and the value is employed to create the dictionary. Always to create the dictionary, you should have one key and one value must. The key must consist of just one element, means the key value should be unique. The value can be any type such as list, tuple or integer. For this particular name, I can give XYZ, A, B, C, any number of values, M, N, O, like this. So, this how we are representing the dictionary? We are representing the dictionary using the flower braces. Okay, separated by comma. Python dictionary, how to create a dictionary? We are using one keyword called dict. D-I-C-T. Dict is a keyword used to create a dictionary. So, name, for name, value, name is a keyword, value is a cherished. Then age is a keyword, 20 is a value for that age. So, this how we are going to create. We are enclosing that within the flower braces. Right. So, one more example for Python dictionary is Here we are doing, we are creating one dictionary called employee. We are supposed to print which type of data type it belongs to and printing the employee data. What it will print? It will print, it is type is dictionary and it will print employee name as John, age is 29 and salary is 25,000 and company is Google. So this much will be printed on your output screen. Okay, you can have any combination of the key and value pair. Next, what we have is set, where we have discussed so far list, tuple and then the dictionary. All are ordered sequence, allows some multiple data. But when it comes to the set, the major difference what a set has, it is unordered sequence. What you mean by unordered sequence? It does not give you the output in the same way as you have given in the set. Okay, for example, if I give the set value as 1, 2, 3 and 4, when we are getting the output, it is not in the same order. It can be displayed randomly in any order. That is the meaning of ordered and unordered. Python set is an unordered collection of data types. You can also add different data types in the set. It is iterable, you can repeat it, and mutable and has a unique element. It is also mutable. Which is non-mutable is only the tuple and the key in the dictionary. The set created by using a built-in function called set. How we are going to create the sets? By using the function which is already built in. Using that we are going to create the set. It can contain the various data type values. It allows to combine a different data type, integer, floating, character, list and then the tuple inside the single set. So let's see the example for the set. So creating a empty set, we are not giving any value inside this, so that value will not be displayed. In the set 2, what they are giving? They are giving gem, 2, 3 and Python. It's a combination of integer and in the string data types. So when we say print set 2, what it will be printed? 3, Python, James and 2. It is not in the same sequence. Here when we are giving, we have given James as 1, 2 as position 2 and 3 as in the position 3 and Python as the position 4. But when you are getting the output, the 3 is at the first position, whichever at the fourth position is at the second position and the whichever is the first position will be at the third position, like this. This is unordered. It will give the values same but not in the ordered format. Adding an element to the set, you can add the element as it is a mutable data type. You can add the element anywhere. So set2 dot add, this is a function or predefined function or built-in function to add the value. What I'm supposed to add? I'm supposed to add the value 10 into the existing list, existing set, that is set of 2. So it will be displayed in random way and lastly it will be added with the value which is supposed to be added. Then removing the element from the set is also can be done by using the predefined function called remove and giving the value. Parameter for the remove function is the value which has to be removed from the set. So print set2, then I want to remove the 2 value. So here you can see the value will be removed and other elements of the set will be displayed in unordered manner. This is all about the set. Well, we are discussing, and when we are discussing the second unit, we'll discuss each and every data type in detail. Okay, next, Python control flow. What is control flow? How the program execution should happen. That is nothing but the control flow. We have 3 different type of control flow: sequential, section and repetition. What is sequential control flow? In the sequential control flow, data means instruction will be executed one after the other. That is sequence that will be executed as when we are writing. If first line will be executed, second line, like third line, so on. Like that is called as sequential. That is a default mode how the compiler or the interpreter work. Apart from that, what we have is a selection control flow. What do you mean by selection? It is also called as conditional control flow, decision, or the branching. For conditional statement, as we have if, else, else if, nested if, like that, we have some condition. We have selecting one part of the program or part of the instruction to execute for some reason. So that is called as selection control flow. What comes with the repetition? You want to repeat that particular piece of code for some time, for 5 times or for 10 times, for n times, like that. So that is repeating itself. Whenever we say that repetition, obviously what comes to our mind? The looping statements. Loop itself, repeat, repeat, repeat until unless condition fails. Like so, that is what is used for looping, that is repeating the piece of code multiple times. So these are different types of control flows what we have. Let's see one by one. This is a default one, need not to explain much about it. So we'll go with the selection control flow. Sequential statements are the set of statements whose execution process happens in sequence, as I told you already. The problem with the sequential statement is that if the logic has broken in any one of the line, then the complete source code execution will be breaked. Okay, we cannot execute if one line of the code is wrong, we cannot execute the remaining code. Okay, that compiler will stuck there until unless that error is debugged. Then going with the selection control flow. Selection statements. Selection statement are also known as a decision control or branching statement. Decision control statement or branching statement. The selection statements allows the programmer to test the several conditions and execute the instruction based on that particular condition. Some selection control flows or some decision statements are what? Simple if statement, if else statement, nested if statement, if, elif, else. Else. These are some of the control statement. It is same as that of what we have done in a C or Java. It works with the same. If condition is true, if the condition is true, execute this particular for. If else, if the condition is true, execute this. If the condition is false, execute else part. Right? Nested condition within the condition. If we have one more if, we have else, one more else, like this. That is nested if else. If, elif, if, if and else. Check the condition if it is true or not. Check for one more condition. If it is not true, then execute the else part. This is the best example when we are calculating or finding the biggest of 3 number. We are using this sort of conditional statements. Okay. Next, what we have is repetition statement. Repetition means looping statement. How many looping statements? Well-known looping statements are for loop and while loop. Same we are going to discuss here. The repetition is used to repeat the group of programming instruction for particular time. Okay, in the Python we generally have 2 loop, that is a for loop and then the while loop. Let's see what is for loop. For loop is used to iterate over the sequence that either a list, tuple or the dictionary or set. Whatever the data type we have discussed so far, on those particular data type we can have a iteration for n number of times. We can execute the set of statements once for each time in a list, tuple or the dictionary. Okay, then examples we'll see with the syntax in the example of the for loop. For loop is used to iterate over the sequence as such list, string, tuple or it may be any data type object such as range also. Okay, using a for loop, a Python can automate the repetition task in the efficient manner. How we are repeating? Using the for loop, we are going to repeating. Syntax for the for loop is with the keyword for, we have a variable. We have a variable. Usually, it's a practice for us to take I as a variable for the for loop. Right? So, I in the iterable. What do you mean by iterable? Iterable may be list, tuple, set or dictionary. Iterable will be what? It may be any of these things. Then if this condition loop is correct, then execute some set of statements. This is a syntax for for loop. These are the examples what we have for the for loop. Here L, this is a L list. Yes, if we are enclosing with the square braces, it is a list. Okay, separated with the comma. We have a B.Ca Vidhyaashram first grade college, FGC. So print, how many times I want to print this? As many times I in L. What is I? We are going to give the value for I. So those many times it will repeat the same loop. Okay, it will be printed the same. For I want to print all the element, all the element of this particular list will be printed. For loop with the dictionary. So we are using the inbuilt function to create the dictionary. Dict of this, what is a dictionary name? D is a dictionary name. What I'm having the key and value pair. XYZ is a key, 1, 2, 3 is a value, ABC is a key, and 3, 4, 6 is a value. For I in D, what it will going to print? It will going to print all the values that is there in particular dictionary. Then for loop with the control statement. What is control statement? If else are my control statement. We can use a for loop with the if else statement also. For letter in the Vidhyaashram, what I am searching for letter is what? Letter is a variable. Where I am searching? I am searching in this particular string. Which letter I am searching? That is given with the if statement. Which letter I am searching? I am searching for letter A and I am searching for letter H. Okay, if letter is equal to A or letter is equal to H, then continue. If in this particular string, if A occur, continue. If H occur, also continue. So what it's gonna print? It's gonna print all the variables except A and H. Okay, it won't print A and H, except A and H it will print V, I, D, H it won't print, Y, A it won't print, A it won't print, S, H it won't print, R, A it won't print, and M. This much is going to print. Okay. Then what we have is while loop. What is while loop? While loop also provides the iteration over some condition. The Python while loop is to execute the block of statement repeatedly until the given condition satisfied. Then the expression is checked again, and if it is still true, the body executed again. Each time it is going to check the condition until unless the condition fails. When a while loop is executed, expression is first evaluated in the Boolean context, which is the expression while I is less than M. This is the expression which is evaluated in Boolean context. Boolean context means in true or in false. Okay, if it is true, I am going to execute this. If it is false, I am not executing this. I am executing the remaining statements. Okay, this is a example with the where M is equal to 5. Value of M is 5. So I am taking I while I is less than M. That is, what is my ith value should always be less than 5. Print I till end of space. You have to print how many times? 5 times I, and incrementing the value each time. Okay. Then while loop with the continue statement, as done with the while for loop with the continue statement, we have a while loop with the continue statement. A is what? A is a string which is having the value as Vidhyaashram. Then while I is less than length of A. What is the length of A? How many characters we have? That is nothing but the length of A. If A of I is equal to A, or if A of I is equal to H, then continue. Except these two letters, A of I is equal to H, wherever A comes and wherever H comes, except these letters, continue printing the current letters. So similarly, here H does not display, A does not display, H won't display, and H. Remaining values, that is V, I, D, Y, S, R, M. This much will be displayed with the printf statement. Each time when we are displaying one character of the string, the value of the I will be incremented, and now I am checking the value of the I with the length of the string. Then while loop with the else statement, that is with the conditional statement. If I is less than 4, that is I value 0, 0 is less than 4, condition is true, so executing this. If I value is greater than 0, then execute this. Okay. The print, each time increment the I value, print I value. So it is going to print as 1, 2, 3 less than 4. So 4 would not be considered, it will print 4. If it is greater than 4, no break. We are breaking the statement, control statement, that's what. Python range function. One more repetition function is range function. With for loop and while loop, we have a range function. Range gives from where to where. Range means obviously it will give from where to where we have to do the looping, or we have to repeat the thing. Python range function return the sequence of numbers in the given range. Whichever the range we have given, within that it will repeat the sequence of number. The most common use of it is iterating the sequence of numbers using the Python for loops. Whenever we are using the loops, we can give the iteration, we can give the limitation of the range. Within this range, do this much. Okay. Syntax for a range function is using the keyword range. We have a start point, stop point, and a step point. A start point always says which point from where I should start iteration, and from stop point says where I should stop iteration. Step will say how many steps I should skip the element, how many elements I should skip. That is a nothing but step. Start is optional and stop is mandatory, set is also optional. Start the value of the sequence, next value after the end value will be the sequence. Here the stop value, if the stop value is n, it will always stops the execution before that, that is n minus 1th value. Okay, between any two numbers in the sequence, and it will return the range type as an object. Whenever we are using the range, it will return the data type as an range type. That is for all about the data types and the conditional statements and the reputational statements in Python. Thank you.